Do the second one. Okay, let me discuss these words and then the meaning of those words. Let's say that the word called as apathetic. What do you mean by apathetic? The word apathetic draws from path, which means emotion or suffering. So apathetic is called as no emotion or lack of emotion. Did you find out? Somewhere it is given G. Feeling or showing a lack of interest or concern or indifferent, isn't it? So similar to that, the second one, indignant, causing, right? Cause of anger. So you would find out, see, feeling or showing enmity or ill will, antagonistic. It should be J, characterized by or filled with anger, aroused by something which is unjust, mean or unworthy, which is given in the option J. Now observe that the Bahadur Shah Jafar says
J shouldn't be hostile.
J is indicating characterized by or filled with anger, and that came out by something which is not just, right, unfair, mean or unworthy, isn't it? That is why we can say indignant will be that. But when you are talking about enmity or ill will, which is nothing but a hostile, right? So, fine, no issue. Vicious. Vicious will be what? That's something called as a hate, right? Having the nature of what? Evil, immoral, or depraved, isn't it? That is known as a vicious. Cynical. Yes, very good. Cynical is a B, because believing also in the belief that people are motivated mainly by what? Based on selfish, right? So like I pointed, selfish. That is what you would find out from the cynical. Next one is called the hostile. We draw that option C. And desperate. Yeah, and that's something called as having lost all hope, or you can say desperate. Lost all hope. Hopeless, you can say desperate. Next, provocating, influenced, right? So D, that is tending to or causing somebody to anger, right? Or you can say resentment. The meaning of provocating is also called as a resentment, or to make somebody full of anger. Okay. Next is appreciative. It's a positive one, right? So we'll go for the F, which is known as a capable or showing appreciation. That is why we call it appreciative. Nostalgic would be H, right? Nostalgic. Bittersweet longing for things, person or situation of the past, isn't it? Like nostalgic. No, you remember the past days, what happens, what are the good memories, what are the bad memories, right? You think about it and you cry or you feel happy. That is what nostalgia, right? Next one is called as a judgmental. When we talk about judgmental, that would be what? Making a quick judgment, inclined to make quick judgment, especially moral or personal ones. Next, poignant. L, poignant. Poignant is something like a kind of a touching, isn't it? Profoundly moving, touching, or keenly distressing to the mind of feelings, right? Okay. Despondent. I, very good. So despondent is called as a feeling or expressing depression of spirits from loss of hope, confident, hopeless. Again, the opposite of despondent is called as a buoyance. B-U-O-Y-A-N-C-E, buoyance. That called as a full of hope, right? Next is the self-righteous. Obviously, we'll go for the end, right? We do have also some more system words. Look into the word called as a condescending. We can go for the condescending. What do you mean by that? Um, Condescending is called as a superior attitude, right? Superior attitude. Can you find out that? Q. Yes. So next is called as opinionated. When you say that opinionated, it's a judgmental, right? Or judgmental, or you can say jitty, or you can say stubborn in nature, right? Stubborn, no, obstinate behavior, stubborn and obstinate behavior. So you would find out that in a double, right? Holding stubbornly and often unreasonable to one's own superior. Next is called as obsequious, right? It's a very good word, obsequious, which refers to, obsequious. The root word is called as SEQ, but at the same time, another root word is also, the prefix is there, that's called as up. Up means not. So, somebody, you can say that what? Full of exhibiting, or called as old. Yeah, you can go for the O, full of or exhibiting servile compliance or compliance, full of or exhibiting servile compliance, or funny, FAWNING. That would be the word called as obsequious, right? दिखावा करना, right? Full of or exhibiting servile compliance. So next one is hypothetical. We'll go for the hypothetical, hypocritical. When we talk about hypocritical, means something which is called as excessive critical feelings or belief. We can say option T, characterized by the practice of, you can say, professing belief or holding beliefs, feelings, or called as qualities that one does not hold or possess. Right? You can say that it's a kind of a falseness, right? Falseness, hypocritical. So, hypo is something called as a hypo, more critical, isn't it? Next is called as a, what do we say that? Passionate. So, obviously, we'll go for the wife. Why? Because passionate is capable of or having or dominated by powerful, you can say, emotions. That is why it's called as a passionate. Next is rhetorical. 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 Rhetorical is relating to, what do we say that? Using language. Right? Relating to what? Using language effectively, or what do we say that? Persuasive or convincing to somebody. Right? So that is why rhetorical. Disdainful would be contempt, sorrowful, or scornful. Sorry, contempt or scornful. Scornful means to make somebody anger and to make somebody contempt us. Right? So in that case, you would find out option B would be there. Next, paradoxical. We understood that it is a contrasting one. X would be the answer. A seemingly contradictory, that may nonetheless be true, or you can say an assertion or that declaration that is essentially self-contradictory through based on a valid deduction from acceptable regions. Right? That is known as a paradoxical. Abusive. Yes, using or containing insulting or harsh language, coarse language, rough language, that is known as means abusive. Arrogant, we can go for the displayed a sense of overbearing, self-worth or self-importance, which one doesn't have, but to show that is known as arrogance. Right? Next is despairing. We understood that despairing is called as hopeless. Where do we find out that? And characterized by or resulting from despair or hopeless. Next one, detached. We can find is referring to an absence of emotional involvement and an aloof impersonal objective, right? That is what called as a detached. And dejected, we can again find out hopeless, that you find out unhappy and disappointed, right? That is what nothing but called as a tone, right? Examples of tone and their meaning associated with it. Clear my point? Now it's the time to go for some of the tone-based questions as well as some indirect and inference-based questions from the given passages. So we have just done the first one. Just go from the question. Passage 2 onwards, right? Please do understand. These are these are very humorous-based and also historical-based passages. So read carefully and try to understand the words. And like I pointed, means try to find out the tone from the last paragraph of the passage. So passage 2, 3, and 4. Okay, just do the passage 2. We'll discuss one after another. Right? That will be it. So give you 10 minutes time for this, huh? Glyph. What else? Droll is also there. Droll. What is the meaning of glyph?
Glit means not serious, in a joking way. Humorous way.
Humorously. Then what is witty?
Witty or
What is droll means?
droll means dull or not uninterested.
Disinterested. And glyph means?
Glit means
Check that. Check. What is the meaning of that word? Glyph.
fluent but insincere and shallow.
Insincere or shallow, right? So whereas droll is called as a disinterested, right? So mocking is called as a sarcastic or criticizing. So witty is what? To make something to feel somebody happy, right? Or to give you something which will feel you entertainment, right? Now when you look at the passage talks about what? The passage talks about the leftist, right? It's not telling about the party, right? It is telling about the people who use the left hand, isn't it? So now, what is the purpose of the author? The purpose of the author is to write something which will make the reader to feel interest. The author has to write something which will give some information to the reader. The author has to write something which will give some kind of a moral to the suggestion or called as some kind of a knowledge to the reader. Isn't it? Now these are the purpose that the author had in his mind when he starts writing. Got my point? Now in this particular text, our thought would be what? If I go with the glyph, right? So now glyph is indicating insincere. Now who is insincere here? Do you say author? The author is insincere? No, you can't say that, right? Because the tone of the piece of the writing, you cannot draw that the author is insincere or the author has given certain kind of a character. They are insincere or shallow in nature, right? So that's why glyph cannot be drawn. Second is a droll. Droll is called as a dull or means not interesting. Again, disinterested again. Dull or means lazy type, not interested. In that case, if you read the passage gives you some kind of interest, some kind of amusement, some kind of fun or entertainment, isn't it? Now in that case, can I say that it is a disinterested or the indolent or called as a doleful or droll in nature? No, we can't say that. So in that case, A and B are eliminated because glyph said disinterested, droll said means uninterested or called as a dull in nature. Now if I go for the mocking, so mocking is sarcasm or criticizing to make fun of somebody, isn't it? Does the poet, does the author make fun of somebody? Does the passage talk about means fun of somebody? So obviously student will say that yes sir, the author has used to US president, right, or called as such a man and woman who got into the marriage and how means a man is making a sarcastical comment by stating that that woman who sits right to me in my marriage day. So who believes that what she is always right and always gives me compliment in her right hand, in her left hand. isn't it? Now this is a kind of an example. Taking the example of Bush, taking the example of the US President, these are nothing but the examples, right? But the motive of the author is what? The motive of the author is to give some information about the left-hand people, right? And second, it's called as to make the readers feel fun, entertainment, isn't it? So in that case, we cannot consider it as a mocking. It will be known as a witty, right? Got my point? Humorous in nature. I hope you understood this. Okay. Please go through the third passage. Done? Finished? Any question? Okay, let's go for the discussion. So, this is the passage 3 which indicate about what? That's called as a personal negotiation style, isn't it? The first one, there are 2 paragraphs in the passage. The first paragraph is given an example, given the author's experience, and the second paragraph is nothing but the suggestion out of that, isn't it? Like if you read that text, the text is stated about nothing but whom? The author, his son Brandon, and third is called as a Canaan, right? 3 are there. And what do we draw from the first paragraph? That Brendan, Canaan, and the author, they all were 3 in a particular place, right? Whereas Brendan is, the author is giving feedback to Canaan, while author is giving feedback to Canaan. What happened? Canaan was repeating that, mirroring. What do you mean by mirroring? That's something called as repeating the same. Sorry?
This is something different. It's about editor and writers.
Editor and writers. A few years ago, I was on my boat. And the peace of the world, that is done. Okay, then do one thing. Just go through the passage 4. I will come. answer of question number 3. That's the recent passage. Mildly sarcastic about the editor's job. But the question is asking something different. The comment, any article, no matter how eloquent or profound or already cut to the bone, can be improved by using an additional 100 words. Is what? If you go with the C is called as a mildly sarcastic about the editor's role. Now tell me that if you are holding a position, right? Editor's job. What is the job of the editor? To edit, isn't it? Now the writer comes with the writing. He gives you the writing to publish it. So what's your job? Your job is to check it. Or do you think that he is Arundhati Ray? Right. So that's why she has written beautifully and eloquent information. So I will not check it, and it would be a perfect one. Let's send it for the publisher. Will you do that? It means you are not doing your job. If you are doing your job, then how could be it sarcastic?
Option B is better than stating comment about discussion.
Again, option D. Let's go for that. B. Okay. Yeah. So yes. You can say that B and C. Can you see that you always find out the kind of two close answers, right? That's what happened in exam 2. So the thing is that we need to go deeper into it and we need to understand what it says in a practical sense, right? Now the statement said any article, no matter how eloquent means how fluent, how clear, how profound, how already cut to the bone, how hard effort you have given and written that article, right, can be improved by using an about 100 words, right? Now it is the job of the editor. Now in that case, you can't say that he is sarcastic in nature or sarcastic about editor's role, because you are pointing to someone's position, right? So, but B said what? It is a scathing comment. It cannot be called as a sarcastic role, but scathing comment. Right? Why it is a scathing comment? A very miserable, despair, like a person who have done such a hard effort, and what the editor does? Remove. Now look into the question. What does it say? The writer said the editor will have lost all interest. The writer says what? The editor